It is I, Landon of the Wold, sitting here under a tree, talking to you nice folks. Oh god, I gotta sit down for a bit. Ugh. I'm still on the island. I finished my first joint. My mom's doing good. All is well. My intense speaking for the day. I think, why am I out in the woods? Well, I like talking. Why don't I talk about more fun stuff? Well, I think there's something about what could be said about what I talk about and where I am, and what is even beneficial about things that make me angry when you're by yourself in the forest, and how I account for that. On the one hand, you can do it in different ways. That forest makes you very honest. If you're by yourself enough, and you're tired enough, or you're lonely enough, or you're cold enough, or you're just anxious enough to find some purpose to your life because you're walking around a forest all day, and all these anxieties and all these, like, I mean, we all have, believe it or not, even me, who doesn't really work in the usual sense, I suppose, but does a lot of good work. A good witch would say, "Hey, man, you do good work." Um, and it's work to be on the earth. Most people, work, and they know that I work, or they look at me and I think, you look at this face like, oh, that guy's never seen any agony or labor in his life. I certainly was born from labor. I'm made of labor, motherfucker. But I do feel an obligation to arrive at some fruit of my actions, and I do a day. But then there's like the danger is that, am I doing that year to year? Intellectually, then along the way, anger has served me probably more than any emotion. As I've already given anyone a good idea what I talk about, maybe why I talk about it. You could scarcely listen to what I'm saying, then you could probably wonder why I'm saying it. Not just the reasons to insist upon consciously as I talk, sensible as I am that what I'm talking about is its own reason in a way, and that I'm angry about it seems, hardly impossible or implausible. So that serves as a reason. And that also I lapse into types of discussion that do give some considerable and at the same pitch of passion, a sense of what I would say like speech about the purity and sanctity of our blood in ways that defy the physics and the narratives and the religions of the world, so that any number of hours angrily defying them for one agonized reason or another at least could give you sort of a moment of sobriety, in essence, passionate sobriety, as much as like I don't want to be rude, but I mean, I guess people go to a baseball game and yell or watch a drama, and they're like, hey, it's like a moment of like sobriety, like wow, and you look at your friend and you're screaming, you've got paint all over your body, and you scream and go, wow, and it was a touchdown, there's 5 seconds left, and there was a turnover, and you're like, yeah, you're screaming at the top of your lungs, and spittle's coming out of your mouth, and you look at each other like, this is that moment. This is that moment that where all of a sudden the universe quiets down, the mechanism stops, and we catch ourselves in some sort of primal union with the very purpose of our existence, here, yelling at the 30-yard line. It's like the paint all over our body. And another part of your brain goes, is there something wrong with this? Is it okay that I love this person right now? That for all intents and purposes, this might be the person I love the most, even though he's another dude. And herein, I give you a sort of authorial example of how I imagine my life if I was more like you and less like me. Because there's a certain reverence to that. I just, that sounds like fun, actually. but I'm sure I won't find myself in that position anytime soon. Emphasis on position. Hey, it's the Brokeback Mountain Super Bowl getaway. Come on, bro, let's go. It's time to find out who's been in the closet a little too long for my liking. Guess you. um, let's get a humpity dumpity move on. Yickety yickety do. Lickety dickety do. And you think I'm not gay. Anyway, so that's not nice, I suppose. Gayness is a source of humor to me, but I'm not making fun of gay people. I'm really making fun of myself and my own gay-like nature. That at least I can fantasize for comedic purposes about the love of the dick. Actually, so when I was walking, I saw some seaweed shaped like a beautiful big dick, and I thought, why can't I admire that? Like I've got a dick, and that's a dick, and damn it, if dicks don't look good, nice, hard, solid, big dick, you know, that comes from the ocean, you know. you know, and it's seaweed. So it's like it's almost nutritious. Wait a second, this is a dream I had last night. But you know, like to notice genitalia is pretty usual for people. Like, you know, what does that cloud look like? Oh, a vagina. You know, it's like, oh look, that cloud. Tell your friends that cloud looks like a giant penis and see what they say. Like you find out the men from the midgets, right? It's like, oh yeah, yeah, I see that man. Like it's a huge dick. Right on. They're like, I don't see a dick. Fuck, you guys are weird. I'm gonna go and play with myself. Other people are like, dude, like, why do you always have to see dicks in the clouds? Like, what's your obsession with dicks, man? It's like, dick this, dick that. I mean, just why don't you come out of the closet and just admit you love dick and suck mine? Because, you know, guess what? Let's do it. Let's come out of the closet together. What do you say? Be like bros. Like that time we climbed the Matterhorn and I accidentally touched your ass. And you looked at me like, my God, man, like, that's horrible, but it's okay because it's you. And you're like my best friend. Besides, it's just another one of those things that we share in the secret of the night. And I'm afraid of the dark. And I think, you know what? Joe wouldn't be a bad guy to be with right now. I always feel nice when he's around. Okay, that's enough. That's enough. Stop. Shh. I could become fully gay if I talk like that. I'd be like, I'd go gay on camera on YouTube. It's like man goes gay. He doesn't so much come out of the closet as he just sort of accidentally, spontaneously combusts. I'm making too many jokes about gay people. That's it. I finally reached it. I love musicals. Actually, I don't like musicals, but I like parts of musicals. Like I like parts of operas. You know, it's like who wants to sit through a whole opera? You know, 3 4 seconds. You know, I'm okay. I'm good. Name this tune. Something that makes my ear bleed. Correct. My one good ear, of course, because the other one is already shot. I'm sitting in the rain. Sitting in the rain. I have a beautiful auntie, Lorraine, who passed away. Really passed over, and we didn't really connect at a spirit level at all, which makes sense because we never really connected in life. But I feel like, in an intangible sense, you know, she's still my family, and that wherever she is, if I have a respectful thought of her and an interest in her life and who she is, just like if you look at a painting and see the wonderful, genius, brilliant core that has been masked almost by the brilliant brushstrokes you see before you, and then strangely revealed, like the flesh and blood of a human being by the many watches of their lives. So could I appreciate my Auntie Lorraine. And when appreciated, you tend to feel it, especially on the heavenly plane. And so really, I feel like she's a relative that if I love her, you know, we're kind of even. You know, she didn't like me, and I didn't take much interest in her. And even for me, I understand as an adult, if you don't take an interest in someone, they won't take an interest in you. My mom has tried to teach me, Landon, you know, you're not going to make friends if you don't give people a chance. You know? And I always thought that making friends was easy. Like, it seems so easy, but how come it doesn't come easy to me? And maybe you would say, oh, gee, you have sort of developmental disorder. It's like, no, it's like, I wasn't like, you know, retarded. But I didn't get excited the way children did at school. In that way that I guess children become excited to make friends and to talk and natter on and stuff. Like, I was always really serious. You know, I was like from Lord of the Rings, the one they try to fucking kill because he's so quiet and stuff. It's like, kill that one. You know, and cults are a study of like, who is the person they kill when you're, you know, if you're in a plane crash with your friends, who's the one you're going to eat? Hanging out and there's 6 of you, look around. Which is the one you're going to eat first? Because one of you will be. I'm not saying you're going to be cannibals or it's going to happen, but it's like, it's a hypothetical, but that might reveal, worst or best, inequities in how someone, but they don't tell you. But quietly in your minds, write down on a slip of paper what that would be and put it into a hat. And come and look in that hat in 3 years. And I tell you, it's going to be enlightening. Someone had an argument, someone left the group, something happened, you don't know, but you don't hear from someone anymore. And that person's name and the person in the hat, by a great majority, is going to be the same person. I promise you. I promise you, promise you. Now think about that, because I'm that person. I'm that person that left your group. I'm not hear from anymore. I'm that member of the family that no one hears from. I'm that guy. And my auntie Lorraine, to come back to her for a moment, you know, I didn't know her, but I think in a way she was different. And my grandma, I think she was different. And I have an auntie on my dad's side. I think she was different. I think my aunt, my Bill, was very different. But I think that their difference also guided their lives in many respects. That they weren't allowed, you know, that the spirit, the essence of us that guides our whole life. When some stupid artist will get more acknowledgement for some stupid piece of shit on some rich person's wall than most people will for the art of their spirit. And those of us who might trip upon the idea of being considered artists or poets, we love I can just live with the idea that one day someone will read my book. I was in the college newspaper a few times, and I remember sitting on the bus and seeing someone read my full-page article with water print or watermark of one of my limbs and the tattoo wrapped around it, called "Artists of the Earth Unite," and 4 different genres of description of that the idea and concept of Jesus Christ was a specific use of language and said something about the sacrificial nature of the different languages of the world. And I was talking about the fact that I could do it without really knowing it. I was just a natural druid. This is just something in me I was born with. You have a natural immune system to bullshit that is far and beyond. It's like people's immune systems in this sense is like a grenade compared to, like, my mind is like all the nuclear missiles in the world. I will not fucking allow lies into my mind. That's why I can't be around people. I become more and more honest. And knowledge requires honesty. If you want a certain kind of knowledge, I can't claim like this. It doesn't have to be all knowledge. Knowledge comes in many forms, okay? So we're all free. Religion is free. You know, call it science if you want, but don't say that I called it science. And then quote a video where I say, hey, this is a fucking science. And you're like, he's a hypocrite. And it's like, oh, don't listen to him. And I'm safe. And you're safe. And all my followers will be safe. And we'll all end. And there'll be no cult. And the few of you that got together to thinking I said something will be killed by the CIA. And we'll all live happily ever after in heaven going, hey, well, I guess that lifetime trying to figure out the truth was a waste of fucking time after all. Yeah, well, we told you. But, all right, what are we going to do next life? Let's be a casino owner and rape children. Hey! So, you know, you get more pure knowledge, at least knowledge of this kind. I'll try to be careful. I'm not an arrogant person. The knowledge requires a certain confidence. And it lives or breathes like the light inside your refrigerator. You know, if it turns you on, great. It helps you see some other food, awesome. And in a sense, our mind is like a refrigerator because it's kept cool. It's kept cold and dark. And we keep everything in it to preserve it, and we forget that the preservation process is preserving us for a reason of an extraordinarily greater and perhaps more malignant order than that of the satisfaction of our own strange appetites. And for dollars and cents and cakes and niblets and giblets and so forth. But the knowledge requires a certain confidence. That's all. Like a song. Like if you were to like just sing a song every day. As a druid, if I just sang a different song, this is my song. And it's meant to be spontaneous. When you're a fully trained druid, you're meant to speak from the mouth. So people and say, fuck, put a gun in me and say, fucking talk or we're going to shoot you. Okay. Say, and you'd be fucking gobsmacked about what came out of my mouth. When I was young, when I was around people and the time was to talk about yourself or say something, I always fucking shied away because of the power that lives inside. And the odd time that I've been in a group around family, around New Year's, and made a little speech or said a few things, people just like, whoa, who the fuck are you, dude? I went to a small little writing class with fucking teenagers. I thought this would be safe. And I wrote a quick short story in about 3 minutes. And some of the children read it, and I read it out loud, and they said, "That's fucking sacred. That's fucking scripture you just wrote. Like, holy shit, who the fuck are you?" Right? And it's just, I entered a short fiction writing contest after that, and I won it. You know, when I was in college, I wrote things on my assignments, and my teachers thought that, off somebody and plagiarizing. So, just because I didn't sign it doesn't mean it wasn't mine. I can do what I want with it, right? I can get quotes and I can make up quotes. I am a book of quotes. I quote myself. Quoth I. Quoth I. Rain is good. Earth is brown. I like to make brown things out of the earth. That is my purpose. Hey, that makes sense. That makes perfect sense. It makes a lot more sense in Christianity. But I didn't want to talk, around people, and I don't. This is really strictly like totally fine and healthy for me. Like I just like talking to myself. I don't see myself in any way as a sexual person or someone who people need to listen to, or a great person in that way that we could imagine. Like, oh, I'm going to talk to people, and ooh, hello everyone, I'm me, and thank you for paying the $100 fee to listen to me talk about rat poison and the human spirit. There's a whole host of other considerations in the realm of knowledge, in so much as knowledge that people want to listen to and would pay money to hear. And that's not all knowledge, right? So a druid practices knowledge that, it's not meant to be bought and sold, and nobody would pay money for it. But it's actually some of the most sacred type of things you could ever hear, for reasons that are actually quite plausibly within your grasp. Yourself, your breath, your voice, like, to have a voice is like a rabbit has a voice. A fucking snail has more voice than most Americans. Like, it's who you are is your voice. And you should enjoy your voice. What are you saying to the world today? What am I saying to you? What is the world saying to you when I speak? What are the victims of violent crime saying to us when I speak? My song must encompass what is sacred and valuable about my flesh and blood, which means all flesh and blood. This forest knows that. It loves me here. It's protecting me under this tree, not just because this tree happens to be here and I happen to be here in some statistical vicissitude of the incredible logistical fucking enormities of the titanic ingress of evolutionary timescales of a brief instant of human consciousness, from nothing to nothing and dust to dust. That's not the only thing happening here. In fact, that's no farther from the truth as you could possibly get in a drug den filled with prostitute fucking serial killers. But it's certainly something you can believe. I understand the scales in which I live, so I can write about them and talk about them. You know what? It doesn't matter what they are, they're good or bad, they're boundaries. I like that. I love that the world puts boundaries on its knowledge, and while it does that, it puts boundaries on my knowledge. Right? Oh, you're just under a tree, you're just a dick who doesn't work, who has various brain disorders, and it's like, apparently you can predict my behavior. Really? Well, I can predict World War I and II, and that violence is going to happen in every fucking group you're in all your fucking life until you learn to speak the truth. And it's going to be fucking hard. You want to talk an uphill fucking battle? Try speaking the truth about violence in your environment. With no support from feminism, gender studies, anything, anyone, any gender. I have to use examples from television shows sometimes to allow my mom to understand what I'm saying about ethical breaches in my environment. That's the only way I can get it. Oh, okay. Okay, I see what you're saying. Remember when Lou was like talking about this on this TV show? Oh, okay. And that's how she understands ethical issues. And ethics is not like you go learning a book and you know ethics. It's you have to know what's going on. You have to be able to see and feel and think and feel pain. You have to be able to endure the inscrutable and excruciating logistical anomalies and indecencies and hypocrisies of human conflict dynamics, because human relationships are all conflict-based. And they're inevitable. So it's boom, boom, boom. So if you're constantly trying to oh, my job is to keep the peace, you're going to be working for eternity. So you have to step back and, okay, well, I can't fix any of the conflicts. I can try to understand what they're saying. I can endure them and then step off the battlefield instead of trying to strike back and putting out every little fire that comes out and becoming a good sociopath. I'm going to just take a 10, 50,000 blows for my people. Walk off the fucking battlefield, go on a hill, and fucking, hopefully I don't bleed to death or get too many dislocated fucking shoulders as people leave the battle and see me and fucking decide to rape me and fuck kill me. Some of them my mother, my sister, my brother, this dude, that, or any number of people in my life. And I'm gonna go sit there and you're gonna break my fucking balls because I'm not fucking working enough or fighting enough or fucking enough. And I'm gonna fucking figure out a fucking philosophy so you motherfuck killing each other for the next 10,000 fucking years. And have a nice day. Because I'm a true leader. I do according to what can be seen. Now, ethics is like, what's fucking happening? What's fucking happening? What's fucking happening? You have to be able to see like the eagle. What do you think is happening right now? And it may not be everything, but you say, hey people, right now, you're just fucking with you. Now, get back. Now, I can't do that. If I had a family, I would do, hey, you're just fucking with your sister. Sit down. We can talk about this, but you don't do that. You don't do that. Right? You want to be respected? Everyone's feelings get to be respected. You'll have your chance. But we don't do that. If you don't understand that, you're never in this home. Never. And that sucks because you can control. And that's leadership. And people don't have that anymore because you don't have any ethical mental development. You don't have a voice. So you don't see what's going on. Your children can get away with lying. The sociopathic child is going to be the one you love the most. You know, they don't start any of the fights, not that you know of. And without even knowing it, your ethics is going to preference certain children over others. Hey, you don't have time to teach them. You don't have time to be with them during the day. Hey, you're working. You don't have time to really look at them and listen to them because it's not just, yeah, daddy, I want this. It's deep listening. Led fucking Zeppelin. Like you listen to the ingress of the glaciers. Like you listen to the slow aging of your testicles at night. And all the fears and screams of all the fears that have ever shone their specters into the bones of your people. That's what you fucking listen to while your children are sleeping. That's what you listen to before you stick your dick into a woman's pussy. That's my fucking religion. Too many men fucking sticking their dicks around like they're fucking Jedi Knights. And everything we made right because your lightsaber made it so. Your dick is not your voice. Your dick is nothing to your children if you don't use this. You shoot with your heart. You shoot with your head. You don't descend into the purely animal like this world wants you to. Because somebody feeds you a Mickey or a drink, or because like if you don't see a girl naked, you're just gonna fucking kill yourself. Trust me. If you don't have sex, you're not gonna kill yourself. You'll probably live longer than the guys that do. There should be no pressure to be sexual. None. Just fuck it. Be abstinent the rest of your life. It is always, always better. Always, if you have the guts to do it. It has never been a bad choice for any human being to not fuck a woman. It is never, if you could possibly say no, that's what you train yourself to do. Now, if you meet one and you just can't say no anymore, then marry her. That's one hell of a fucking woman. And that's what you have to offer her. That's called offering the mother of your children the Sacred Heart of the King. And if you don't fucking do that, what the fuck do you have to offer? And you'll never give her what she wants, and she'll never even let you. Because she's not worthy of you, and you're not worthy of her. You have made a fucking mistake, a big fucking mistake, called the rest of your fucking life. Right? You should be afraid to use your dick. Your dick like the highest judge in the world. Wars will be stopped if you stop fucking the wrong woman. Your moral and ethical responsibility right there. I gotta go. I'm going on too long. It's like, dude, that's all you do is go on too long. You know? All you got is 2 left feet, lady. Why'd I call myself a lady? I don't know. Okay. I'm doing all this talking. I'm not drinking enough. You're not drinking enough, man. Why then drink some more? Why don't you? Make many voices in the sands of time, and the wind will blow and it's gone, but it's still fun. But in those times you will be the wind, and you will be the sand. But an animal will come along and defecate in the wind and in the sand. And you won't mind. Because let's face it, you're wind, you're sand. Who gives a shit? And what but that beetle crap? Grow bacteria and mushrooms. And a great, if diminutive loam will begin to take over the vast and desert spaces. And a little bit of moss will begin to grow. And out of that moss, a giant penis. And the earth will be like, ha ha ha, Landon is here. And the wind will blow, and it will feel nice and warm and cool. And the rain will come down, and your penis will be like, ah, my penis feels so cool and refreshed. And also, as it drinketh, so do it groweth, but also remain also of relatively nominal size, so that no one needs to hack it to pieces. Hopefully there's no swords in the area. Because I can't move. I'm stuck here in the sand. So you'll need animals and trees and bushes to cover you up. And an entire metropolis of a new ecological kingdom of the earth, a biological and ecological zone, unlike any the world had ever seen, just to protect and cradle the seed of your manhood. You can save your applause for later, dude. I gotta go. I gotta go, baby. I gotta walk home now. Drunk. I knew I dropped something. That's okay. Let's check. That pocket is open. We've got keys. Yes. Lighters. Yes. Okay. I've smoked enough. Got my weed. I'm gonna put this camera away, and then I'll get back to you very shortly. I most assuredly would assure you, and put you at all ease if any fear or doubt has ever risen upon your beautiful and certainly by no means paranoid mind, that you might not, in fact, ever hear the sound of my voice again. And as you were my own mother, I tell you that I am going to make my way home over these many miles and rejoice, no doubt, in the utter certitude of our reacquainting one of ourselves with the other in very sound mind and body indeed. And may I make that a promise and a wish, and may you dwell within that wish, and by many means and by many powers be lengthened in the pleasures of your day, as I indeed am also very lengthened and elongated, and sometimes besought with the force of nature that comes out of me this way and that.